So I was in line at the Chick-fil-A drive-thru the other day, and my window was down, and I had just placed my order with this young man, and one of his coworkers, they're outdoors, wearing a similar red outfit. I overheard her saying, "Are you sure you're okay?" He hadn't said "my pleasure" to me, and I always notice when they say "my pleasure" or not. And I was so struck by his coworker saying, "Are you sure you're okay?" See, she must have asked him once already. "Are you sure you're okay?" she asked. Man, it struck me. As soon as I got my food, I pulled over into a little parking spot and I started writing this message because it seems so important. She said, "You seem off. Are you sure you're okay?" Can you see the beautiful, profound, simple, and sacred part of that question she was asking her coworker, and I overheard it? Are you sure? She cared enough to look again. Some people look at you, and a few people look again. We all need people in our lives who will look again. Plenty of folks will glance at our lives. They'll smile and wave. They'll say, "How are you?" as they hustle past. They'll send you a kind text message, or maybe they'll put a little heart on your social media post, or maybe even a comment if you're lucky. They'll promise to pray for you. Plenty of folks will glance politely at our lives. But the people who look again, those are the people who really see us as more than a two-dimensional character in their day. Those are the people who pause long enough for our humanity to come into focus. All day long, our brains are scanning the busy world around us. We intake loads of visual information, and in order to process it all, we have to simplify it. Social scientists call this cognitive economy. We see strangers as silhouettes. We turn interactions into transactions. We simplify souls into shapes and outlines. This isn't cruel. This is efficient. Our brains are beautifully efficient. But love is inefficient. Love chooses to prioritize double-checking on a coworker over keeping the Chick-fil-A line moving. Love is seeing a coworker as a whole, complex, three-dimensional human. To be seen fully. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. There's a story in Genesis about a young woman. She was probably a teenage girl, actually. Her name was Hagar. Hagar is pregnant with a child she didn't choose to have. She is in a country that is not her own. She is enslaved and mistreated. She has run away from home and is wandering alone in the desert. And there, in the wilderness of her lowest moment, she has this miraculous divine encounter. God finds her in the desert. At her lowest, God finds her. And Hagar says, "You are the God who sees me." She is no longer a two-dimensional character in someone else's story. She is no longer a shape, a silhouette, an object, a transaction. She is seen. God didn't have to go find this foreign, runaway teenage girl in the desert. That was a highly inefficient thing to do, but she was seen. She was loved, and it changed everything. The teenage Chick-fil-A girl saw her coworker. She said to him in not so many words, "You are more than a silhouette in my day, more than a shape. You are worth it to me to look again. You are worth the inefficiency." What a beautiful thing to do for someone. To really see them, to look again, to love. That changes everything. May we learn from the teenagers in these stories. And may you be seen today. May you look again at the silhouettes that pass you by, noticing their wholeness and their holiness. Amen. Hey, Between is about you. Take this message out into your life this week and fill the space between you and every person you encounter with your sacred light. My favorite church is the space between people. Now go with God's love and create the church between.